History paints soldiers as heroes or villains, but few imagine what it truly meant to wear the gray uniform of the German Wehrmacht. Beneath the propaganda and the iron discipline was a world of hunger, frostbite, fear, and blood. Men were promised glory, most found only death. Tonight we open the forgotten files. 10 brutal reasons you would never have survived life as a Wehrmacht soldier. Every secret has a clock, and time has just run out. Lost Time Chronicles. 10. The Eastern Front, the land that ate armies. The Eastern Front wasn't a battlefield. It was a slow-moving apocalypse. In 1942, temperatures dropped to minus 40 degrees Celsius. Rifles jammed. Engines froze solid. Soldiers urinated on bolts to melt the ice before they could shoot. Boots turned to stone, toes blackened, then snapped off like twigs. At Stalingrad, one German wrote,
"The snow is red. We crawl over frozen men as if over stones."
500,000 German soldiers were trapped there. Only 5% ever returned. The rest disappeared into the endless white, consumed by hunger, frost, and despair. 9. Endless marches. No rest, no mercy. They called it the March of the Damned. Most divisions had no trucks. Men walked from France to Russia, 40 kilometers a day, carrying rifles, ammunition, and shovels. Feet blistered, skin peeled off, socks froze to flesh. If you collapsed, you didn't rest, you were left. Karl Metz wrote in his diary,
"We march until our shadows fall behind us and never catch up again."
By the time they reached the front, many had no soles on their boots, only blood-soaked rags and numb legs still moving from habit. 8. The rot within, disease and decay. Soap was scarce. Lice were everywhere. Every blanket crawled, every wound festered. Typhus, dysentery, trench foot, invisible enemies that killed without warning. One medical report from Army Group North in 1943 recorded more men dying of diarrhea than bullets. A soldier recalled,
"The lice made a sound like rain when we burned our shirts in the fire."
The stench of infection followed every column. Gangrene crept up legs like black vines. The smell of rotting flesh mixed with the reek of diesel and smoke. The scent of the Eastern Front. 7. Fear of the SS, the enemy within. The Wehrmacht feared not only the Soviets, but their own supposed allies. The SS answered only to Himmler. They executed Wehrmacht soldiers for retreating, for speaking of defeat, even for showing mercy. By 1944, more than 15,000 German soldiers had been executed by firing squads of their own comrades. A rumor, a careless word, a letter home, enough to mark you as a coward. 6. Propaganda and lies, the illusion of victory. Every soldier carried a pocket radio. Every night, Goebbels' voice promised victory. Even as the front collapsed, Berlin broadcasted triumph. When the 6th Army was encircled at Stalingrad, headquarters sent the message, "Hold the line. The Führer believes in you." But no food came, no ammunition, only frozen bodies piling higher than the trenches. Captured letters show men writing home about warm meals and fresh supplies that never existed. Censored words fed to wives to maintain the illusion while their husbands froze in silence. 5. The Partisan War, death behind every tree. In Belarus, Ukraine, and the Balkans, there was no safe road. Partisans mined bridges, derailed trains, and slit throats in the dark. Every rustle of leaves could be death. Patrols entered forests and never came out. In one report from 1943, a German captain wrote,
"We burned a village today. They say we killed partisans, but we found only women and children."
The war turned soldiers into executioners and left them haunted by what they had done. 4. the collapse of the mind. By 1943, the average soldier had been at the front for more than 2 years. Sleep came in 30-minute bursts. Dreams smelled of blood and smoke. Many went mad quietly. Officers called it combat fatigue. The men called it the emptiness. Letters found on corpses spoke of suicide as mercy.
Better one bullet from my own hand than another winter.
The army buried the bodies under false reports, killed in action. The truth was bad for morale. 3. The food, or what passed for it. In 1941, the Wehrmacht invaded Russia with full rations, coffee, sausage, chocolate. By 1944, they were eating moldy bread mixed with sawdust. Ersatzbrot. Field kitchens served thin soups made from potato peelings and horse bones. Frozen meat was hacked with bayonets. Men chewed snow to stay alive. A diary from Army Group Center reads, "The soup was warm, so we didn't ask what floated in it." Some soldiers turned to cannibalism. Whispered rumors erased from the record. 2. No mercy, no medicine. Wounded soldiers were a burden the army couldn't carry. Stretcher bearers were shot while trying to retrieve the injured. Those evacuated often wished they hadn't been. Field hospitals lacked morphine. Limbs were sawn off with knives heated in fire. One medic described,
"They screamed until their voices broke. Then they just stared."
By 1945, hospitals had become slaughterhouses filled with the dying. Men begging for morphine, for water, for death. 1. The end, captivity or oblivion. As the Reich collapsed, surrender offered no salvation. On the Western Front, Americans gave cigarettes and rations. In the East, the Soviets gave nothing but revenge. At Stalingrad, 91,000 Germans were taken prisoner. Barely 5,000 returned. The rest perished in camps with names whispered like curses: Vorkuta, Karaganda, Sverdlovsk. Eyewitness accounts tell of men eating bark, rats, even leather belts to survive. Those who lived came home in 1949, hollow-eyed ghosts in tattered coats. One survivor said simply, "We were dead for 6 years, but no one buried us." The Wehrmacht promised honor and destiny. Instead, it delivered frostbite, starvation, and madness. For the average German soldier, the enemy was not only the Red Army or the Allies. It was hunger, disease, and the lie that their suffering meant something. They marched for 1,000 days through blood and snow, only to learn that their real battle was against the machine that sent them there. The past still speaks, if you know where to listen. Subscribe and uncover the forgotten echoes of history before they fade again.